What is up, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of History Behind the Horror. I am your host, Tay, and for tonight's episode, we will be talking about Lisa Trevor from Resident Evil. Now, I'm sure a lot of you remember me doing this episode already about a year ago. I was having some complications with this episode, so I decided to take it down and redo it later on. That later on is obviously now, because a lot of people have come forth recently and asked me what happened to the Lisa Trevor video and have I even done a Lisa Trevor video before. So I'm going to be doing this today, and I'm going to be doing some more Resident Evil videos coming up very soon, so always remember, if you do enjoy this video, and if you would like to see more Resident Evil characters done on this channel very soon, always remember to give the video a like and also to share the video. That lets me know that you guys did enjoy it and you would like to see more from this series, and also put in the comments for what you would like to see next. And with that being said, thank you guys so much for tuning in tonight, and as always, I hope you all enjoy the video. Lisa was born around 1953 to the famous architect George Trevor, co-owner of Trevor and Chamberlain, and his wife Jessica. In the 1960s, her father was commissioned by Dr. Oswald E. Spencer to construct a mansion for him in the Arklay country. Spencer built up a relationship with the family, such as commissioning stained glass art of Lisa for one window. When the mansion was completed in November 1967, the family was invited to visit and to celebrate. George was busy with work, but rather than reschedule the visit, Jessica drove ahead with Lisa, expecting to meet George later in the week. Arriving at the mansion around the 10th, the two were detained by Spencer's security guards and taken into an underground passage to serve as human test subjects for research. On the 13th, Jessica was able to smuggle an escape plan on the back of a family photograph, set to take place the following day when being transported to the laboratory. However, Jessica was killed later that night, and Lisa failed to escape on her own. On the 15th of November, Spencer had a lab assistant dress up as Jessica to fool Lisa. This had the opposite effect of making her extremely violent when the deception was revealed. Mentally disturbed as a side effect of either the drugs or the virus, Lisa believed her abductors had stolen Jessica's face and responded by stabbing the woman at dinner and carving her face off in the hopes of returning it to her mother. Escaping from the lab, Lisa found herself at the altar beneath the mansion's entrance hall, where she discovered a tomb engraved with her mother's name. But by the 17th, her written account of the abduction is so erratic it is impossible to determine if she was able to actually open the tomb. Following this, she was recaptured and kept in captivity for later experiments. Over the next 11 years, Lisa was kept in solitude in the Arklay Laboratories prison cell, where she was experimented on repeatedly. Her existence was classified with her name being unknown to most of the Umbrella employees who knew she existed. In the years following Dr. William Birkin's 1978 assignment as the chief of research, the need for constant intake in test subjects led to repeated use of Lisa in research. In 1988, she was selected as the host of a NE-A type parasite, a parasite engineered to take over the brain functions of BOWs, but which was constantly killing test subjects. When implanted in her body proved too hazardous an environment and not only killed the parasite, but dissolved it and spliced its DNA into her body. When searching for an explanation, Dr. Birkin discovered a mutant progenitor stain entirely different from the T viruses within her body to be the cause. This virus was named the G virus. In the 7 years following the experiment, Lisa regained a degree of her intelligence that was lost during the T virus research. This became a serious danger to the security of the laboratory when she began attacking female researchers in a similar manner to the woman in 1967. Following the deaths of 3 in 1995, the decision was made to have Lisa killed, seeing her as no longer being any use of their research. Following the execution, her body was observed for 3 days to confirm her death. The lab's new chief of research, Dr. John Clemens, had her body taken to a secret location where she awoke. Whether this was predicted by Clemens, who was notorious among Umbrella personnel for his disgust in their inhumane actions, is unknown. For the next 3 years, Lisa lived in a cabin on the far edge of the Spencer Mansion's grounds and, given the contents of the shed, may have survived on pumpkins and other vegetables grown in the area. In May 1998, a strain of T-virus leaked in the laboratory, resulting in the zombification of the laboratory staff. Lisa continued her quiet life around the cabin, however, but did come in contact with members of the Special Tactics and Rescue Service on the night of July 23rd through the 24th. In the altar room, she finally saw her mother's dead body in the newly opened coffin, and made the decision to end her life by jumping into a chasm. Due to her G-virus mutation, however, she failed to die. In the early hours of July 24th, Lisa climbed out and explored the laboratory, where she fought Captain Albert Wesker, who had gained enhanced abilities from an experimental T-virus derivative. She followed him into the mansion and was pinned down by a falling chandelier in the entrance hall, which prevented her from escaping the mansion when it exploded. As mentioned before, Lisa's mutations have hideously deformed her physical build. Lisa's hideous face is partially masked by collections of flesh from her victims. During some cutscenes, one may be able to notice one of Lisa's uncanny eyes through a small hole in her mask. In Rebirth and Resident Evil Remastered version, it is possible to see her teeth. Her oversized arms and hunchback give her an orangutan-like appearance. She is draped in a tattered hospital gown with her hands held together by a pair of wooden manacles lined with iron, which acts as a deterrent to Lisa's attacks. There is also an eyeball-like tumor visible on her back, a typical sign of the G-virus. Lisa can therefore deal considerable amounts of damage to her victims and should not be confronted directly, as no weapon can truly stop her. Though if the player needs to get away and Lisa's in the way, a high-powered weapon such as a magnum will slow her down briefly, knocking her backwards, allowing for escape. It should be noted though that she recovers quite quickly and the player should waste no time in retreating once she's knocked backwards. Numerous tentacles will emerge from her body and move violently when she is attacked, a sign of the EA-A type used to create the Nemesis T-type. While in various parts of the mansion, one may hear the wails and cries of Lisa. This characteristic suggests that Lisa is incapable of using a higher level of thought and therefore conforms to a more animalistic nature. However, it should be noted that Lisa was able to start a fire in order to warm herself, as well as write a few crude entries in her journal. She also was able to croak "Mother" upon finding her mother's skull. Lisa was administered the Type B variation of the progenitor virus. After that, she served as a test subject for even more biological experiments. Lisa was able to survive all their tests regardless of the potency of the implanted virus or parasite. She was injected with a specimen of the NE-A type, in which, to the Umbrella's researchers' surprise, Lisa not only overcame the specimen, but also managed to absorb it and adapt its powers into her system. Lisa's main attacks include hurling herself towards her enemy and hitting them with her chain and shackles. However, Lisa's true power is near immortality. She is able to take far more damage than any non-mutant human being and recover from it. Rumors along the researchers claim that she actually became fully immortal from experiments, and even Albert Wesker doubted if it was really worthwhile fighting her. Despite her resilience, however, she was defeated by Wesker and died when the Spencer Mansion was destroyed.